Hello and welcome back to another episode of Pine Stars. This is episode 8 of Pine Stars, where we recap UND baseball, shoot some shit, and catch up with some old Greyhounds. So, I am one of your co-hosts. I am Brad Bates. My career highlight, just to keep you guys updated, career World Series batting average of 1,000. Not a whole bunch of people can claim that, so I really feel proud about that one. With me, as always, is my co-host Brian Rimke. Brian, what's your career stat line that makes you the most proud?
It's an award, Brad, and it's Gold Glove bullpen catcher, which I accomplished my freshman year. So proud of that, and thanks to the fine folks at Rawlings for recognizing that greatness.
Thank you. Thank you to those people at Rollins. And after such a wonderful weekend, this last weekend for the Hounds, we had to bring back our guest from last week. Please welcome back the Kurt Brabender. How are you this evening?
I'm wonderful. I'm happy to be back again this week.
We couldn't
I'm
leave
turning
you
into a
out after the.
mainstay.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Um, we couldn't turn you away after the weekend that you produced for the Greyhounds. We talk about it all the time about the influence that we have on this team.
And nor should you have turned me away. I mean, I'd have been really upset if I did not have a text message
To
to come
follow
back.
up. So, what's your career stat line? What's your number one?
Uh, I think my number one would be if there was 80 rounds back in the day in the MLB draft, I would have been picked.
Just 80?
Just 80. I think there was back 60 back in the day, so I was 20 rounds short back in the day.
I got you. Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, so let's jump right in.
Pretty weak stat line, but go ahead.
It qualifies. Especially for Pine Stars too. Well, it's just missed.
That's right.
All right, Remke, talk to us a little bit about this weekend. I know we all know they took four games from, shoot, who was it? William Jewell, right?
Cubic zirconia.
Cubic
Billy
zirconia.
Jewell, Hounds rolled in, got all four. Started off game one of that series, and Diego on the mound picking up the win in a 9-3 game. A lot of
Hard to
guys
win.
producing in that one. So a couple shots out. Nelly going yard. Swayze, Piston Hondras, Nelly with a couple RBIs, and Lukac, all guys driving in runs that game. And then running wild on the bases. Goody with 3, Lukac 2, Piston Hondras with 2, and the big fella, Ian Kennedy, swiping a bag. So
Big
big
man.
day. So good way to start the weekend, and got to give a little bit of love to our man Swayze. Kid had a hell of a weekend over the 4-game stretch, to the point NCAA Division II Hitter of the Week.
Congratulations. Huge.
That's amazing, man.
With a name like Swayze, he's going to be in the spotlight.
You notice ever since we dropped that on the world, what he's done. I mean, we just unleashed his potential.
Yeah.
Is kind of what we did.
You're absolutely right. But we know what we do changes things, and that's why we take this so serious.
Yeah. Well, and
So
that's the thing. Like these new guys come in, they don't know the vibe, right? They don't know like and then we've kind of allowed that to open up. We just let him be him, right? And
right.
this is what he does.
Hey, story writes itself, man.
Yeah. Tales all the
So
time. All right, so
yeah.
moving on to game two.
Game two was a great one. 2-1 Hounds. That one, another big outing from Snow. Big Bennett Rogers threw another gem. It was 1-1 after 6. And if anybody's keeping score, which we are, Kenny two names with a bomb in the top of 7 to give the Hound the lead. And then one only, then the Honey Badger coming in, shutting them down to get game 2 under wraps. So great win there. And that one just seemed to be that set the tone for the rest of the series, because after that, another close one in extras. And tell me if this sounds familiar, but home runs from Swayze, Kenny Two Names, Lukac, and Warren, all going yard.
Luke Smock hits more home runs. Every time I look in the stats, he's got a home run.
Yeah, well, that's what he does. I mean,
I hope you've looked at the stats more than 4 times, because he only got 4 dongs on the season.
Okay, maybe it's not every
Brad,
time.
That's why we have Scotty. He's our stat guy. It's not Brad.
Yeah, it's not me.
No, I will check you.
And again, back in that game again, the Honey Badger coming in, closing that one out, getting another win. So he picked up 2 wins out of the first 3 games. Game 4, again, you've heard me say this before. It wasn't.
Wait, can I
fair.
go back?
And you want to know why? It wasn't fair. No.
Can I go,
Scotty? Hold on, Scotty. Scotty says, wait. Game 4 wasn't fair. And that's because we threw Frankie Clem in the kitchen sink at him.
You didn't have the kitchen sink. You didn't need the kitchen sink.
No, he threw it. They couldn't hit it because it was 12-1 and Frankie getting it done. Complete game, lowering. He's now leading the team in ERA after this.
I saw that.
So again, this may sound familiar. Kenny Two Names, Nick Lukac, and Boss Baby all going yard in that one. And another, not stealing as many bags for putting up 12 runs, but Nelly with swiping a bag. They were hunting because they hit 4 guys. So we had 4 runners that were just wearing it.
Yeah.
But that was a great ending to a hell of a weekend. What's that? Scotty says, go ahead, Brad. If you want to backpedal, we can backpedal.
I just wanted to note, in game 3, Lukac hit a double, a triple, and a home run. Kid was a single away from a cycle.
That's the easiest one to get.
I know.
Hey, guy just doesn't stop at first. He just doesn't.
I think the other thing, right? The other thing that you brought up was Boss Baby. And I think we, as people who dole out nicknames unwarranted, that we do need to recognize when we've been outmatched and there's already one that exists, because I dropped the ball with mollywopped, right? I mean, he mollywopped a 3-run home run this weekend, I'll tell you that. But when we found out his nickname is Boss Baby and they've just trimmed it to Boss, that's so good. That's so good.
It is. And we're not too big on this show to not tip our cap. So
right.
We're making the
I'll admit when I'm wrong.
We're with Boss Baby.
I'm just happy to hear they're giving out nicknames and we don't have to provide them for them. They're learning.
Thank you.
They're young kids. They're picking up on what we're putting down. They're catching on. The future's bright for where this world's going.
Well, Kurt, one of the things we strive for on this show is to be trailblazers, and it appears it's working.
Well, we always have been.
All right. So what's that do? What's that do in the standings, Ripke? What's that bring them to conference and region wise?
Well, region wise, we moved up to number 6 in the region. And so that obviously 9, is big, because the top 7 are going to make it. And so going into the last weekend with Lewis sitting at 4, we're sitting at 6. Brings the record 27-18 overall, 18-9 in the conference, but they've clinched their spot in the conference tournament. So that weekend was huge. Really put some separation there, clinching the spot. There's some other teams that are kind of packed in the middle of the conference there, fighting for their spot, but the Hounds are in. Yeah, so, as we were saying, they're going into last weekend of the series. 3 out of 4 would be great. 4 out of 4 is obviously even better, but that's likely how they jumped Lewis in the regional rankings. Got the spot already locked down for the conference tournament. So, with the way things went last weekend, hey, if some is good, more is better.
Right.
So,
So they got Lewis coming up this weekend at home. Hopefully those guys out there that are not on the team that get to see this, maybe you guys can make it out to the ballpark and show some support this weekend. They're playing 2 Friday and 2 Saturday, and both first games, the doubleheader, I believe, start at noon.
Yeah.
Out at the UND
We'll be out
campus.
there tomorrow.
I'm going to try to make it out there on Saturday and hopefully not get thrown out by an umpire. So one of the things that we need to look at is Lewis is coming up, right? And I have an interesting story about Lewis because I was never like a big Lewis fan. You remember they had that big fat ass coach, Irish O'Reilly,
And his hard
Or the
hat.
hard hat.
the hard hat, and he'd go and stand on third, and you'd hear third scream because he was so fat.
I mean, his
And
calves were about the size of your torso.
they were huge. He looked like a stuffed sausage in a uniform. Um, and
And the mount took 2 hours.
oh, Jesus. So anyway, he and Vaught didn't get along, right? They couldn't stand each other.
Hated each other.
So we go to Lewis, where's that? Joliet, Illinois, I think. We go to Lewis for a road trip, and I think it might have been the World Series year because I'm pretty sure Wigington was my roommate. So
Is this when Dagger blew out his hamstring running the first base?
no. Well, oh,
No.
that wasn't that was the same road trip. That was that, yes.
Mhm.
Yes, because I remember that. So, but anyway, we get there on whatever Thursday or whatever, and we get to check into the hotel, and we walk in. You walk into the hotel. There's two bed. We're staying two to a room, fellas, two to a room. So, there would be the beds, and they had these little bags of candy on them with a little note that was like from the Lewis Athletic Program, welcome to Joliet or something like that. So we get in and see it, and everybody's, you see it, and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. There's a knock, not 5 minutes in the door. There's a knock on our hotel room door. Wigington gets up and goes and answers the door, and it's Vaught. And Vaught looks at him and goes, hey, is Bates here? And he goes, yeah. And I hear him. So I walk over to the door, and Vaught holds his hand out and he goes, here. And it's his bag of candy from his hotel room. Okay. He goes, here, I can't eat it. And I was like, why? And he goes, I'm pretty sure Irish O'Reilly, that fat fucker, poisoned it. And I said, so you're giving it to me, and you didn't give it to Wigington. You called me to the door to give it to me, and you think it's poisoned. And he just kind of
Which
laughed.
also meant he actually sought out your room number to personally deliver it to you.
Yeah.
Question: did you eat it?
I did. Yeah, for sure. Because I was like, I want him to feel like shit.
And he's still here today.
Yeah. And I want him to feel like shit if I die on this road trip. And so I still remember that. Like he just handed it to me, and I was like, so you just gave, and he didn't even answer me. He just laughed and walked off. So
Hey man, if the shoe fit.
I mean, unbelievable. So
Maybe the most Vaudist thing I've ever heard of.
it's more Vaught than the crease in his jeans, right? Right down the middle. So okay, we've got Lewis coming up, big weekend. If they can get 4, man, that would be huge. Obviously, want to win at least 2, 3 would be great. 4 would be exceptional. Going into a weekend like this, everybody's got to be up. Everybody's got to be ready to go. But specifically, we got our eye on 3 guys that we're gonna signal with our click to pick this week. Brian, I'm going to have you kick us off this week because I believe you kicked us off last week, and I'm not going to change up that order.
I didn't make a pick last week, so this week I'm going to make a phantom pick and a real pick.
Okay. Well, I'll
I bequeath my pick to Kurt last week, and he did really well. So there's been one guy this whole year we haven't shown any love to.
For real?
And the reason we haven't shown him love is because we haven't wanted to mess him up.
Oh.
But we say his name all the time. Every time we're going through highlights, we're calling out a good game. So Lukac, he's had a hell of a year. He's come up with some huge hits. He's been super consistent. he's never needed our help. And we're not too proud to say, you don't need us. But
Yeah.
we see you, keep playing, but you don't need us, bud. And so do your thing. So with that, I'm going to go hot hand. And we're going to go hot hand because we're going to need them, not just this last weekend, but rolling into tournament time. And I'm going to peel this off of a hot start from last weekend. I'm going Frankie Clem in the kitchen sink, who we don't nickname a great name like that. So we're going to ride the southpaw. We're going to throw him out there. And I got to tell you, I would love to see him close out a strong series on Saturday.
I like that pick a lot. I like it. He's just coming off that complete game, man. Got to have that. He's good, feel good rolling into this his mound trips this week.
Yep.
All right, Kurt.
You guys are putting me on the man.
Do you need a minute? Because I could go with mine, and I do believe that's actually how we went last week.
I think I need a minute. I think I need a minute.
Hey, it's getting to the point where it's like we've called out different people from time to time, and like you said, Rimke, we're going to revisit some names. And although you see this guy's name in the stat lines a lot, extra base hits, stolen bases, all that stuff, I feel like there's still some left in the tank that he's going to just go off this weekend. Going to rise to the occasion. Easton Good is going to go off. I just got a feeling he's going to see the ball this weekend. Goodies, bringing back, who was Sierra? Was it Sierra? And Petey Pablo?
Petey Pablo.
Gives me the chills just thinking about it. But Goodies, playing short, I think he's going to go off this weekend and really just catapult that team. He's got the tools, can swipe bags once he gets on. He's such a dynamic player. I think he's just going to go off.
36 so that is stolen bags on the year. I'm going to say by the end of the weekend he's at 40.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. 50. I mean, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I wouldn't put 14 out of reach this weekend. I mean, steal 3 or 4 games.
When you're hitting doubles, when you just keep hitting doubles, it's hard to just steal third that many times. But yeah, I'd like
to steal third base.
He might steal first just to steal second again.
What is this, banana ball?
Oh, all right, Kurt, what you got?
All right. This individual has a little bit of a cold streak over the last couple games. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, 6 games, maybe 1 hit. But
this is what
at the end of the season, this is what it's about, right? Hey, you have those little highs and you have those lows. Now's the time to click. End of the year, 4-game series against Lewis, rise to the occasion, going into the conference tournament. I am going with Armin.
Ole.
Okay. I like that.
I'm going with Armin, right? He needs a little boost from somewhere. And if we can help that boost, by all means, let it click this weekend. Go into the conference tournament with a hot hand and swing the bat well. So
I like
rough
that.
Couple games of it, but hey, you got to hit your way out of those. So
I like that. You get his bat going and Bowen going. You can DH one, all that kind of stuff. That'd be exciting. Mm-hmm. All right. Any final thoughts? I'm going to start with Rimke, then I'll go to Kurt. Any final thoughts for the weekend?
No. Keep doing what you're doing. You're playing hard. Pitchers are throwing well. Bullpen's stepped up. Bats are hot. Keep running. And at the end of this, I think we're looking at 3 or 4 from Lewis this weekend. Flip the conference on its head, solidify that regional ranking, and head into the conference tournament feeling good. So, no, it's just keep doing what you're doing, boys.
Kurt?
Yeah, now's the time to get hot. They've had a good run of it the past couple games. 7, 8 game winning streak right now. So getting hot at the right time, and I think they kind of control their destiny on what happens here. So can't take them lightly looking ahead of the conference tournament. But this is a crucial series right here for regional rankings.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think this is that
Well, yeah,
series
absolutely.
where
That's why I said it.
dust my hair off. But that's what I'm thinking. This is the final weekend series. You can go out with a bang. You got to come to the ballpark ready to go because if you come in flat and you come in not ready to go and you end up shitting the bed this last weekend, you're going to be madder than a man with a fork and a world full of soup. And it's just not going to be any there's going to be no way to bounce back from that. You're not going to be set up for the conference tournament. You got to come in ready to play. Mentally, you got to be ready to go. Take advantage of balls in the dirt and be aggressive. Play to win and not play for the close game and try not to lose. So great,
It-
great show tonight
I'll
this
say,
evening.
if anything, I think somebody might need to go out to the bus or somewhere, write something on the dugout wall that UND sucks. You guys are done, right? Put a little champ
Champenois on
out of
there.
this. A little champenoise, right? SIUE. We're out there for the conference tournament, lost the first game, and he's like run out and 2 o'clock in the morning, wrote on the bus that, hey, 2 and Q.
Before that, Champ paid a visit to Brad Burns in my hotel room because we had a suite and our Nintendo set up. He came in, told us, come with me to the gas station. We bought as many 40s as we could hold, went back to the room, drank the 40s, played Nintendo, and then he disappeared. The next day, there was soap on the bus. Who would have thought that string of events would end the way it did?
And he was not that guy to like try to pump people up. Like he just wasn't right.
It might have been the old English, who knows? But
Yeah,
something
well.
definitely got those creative juices flowing.
Did. And I'll tell you, if we need a boost, right? If all these guys need a boost, I mean, what I suggest, put a little Zen in the foreskin. Think about it, fellas. Think about it. Quick nicotine hit. Bam, bam, bam. Nobody knows you have it. It's in the foreskin, protected by the cup.
Yeah, make the
Extra
umpire
sweaty down
check
there,
it.
extra absorption.
Make the
Just saying.
umpire check it. All right,
Episode 8
fellas.
is called Zen in the foreskin.
All right, boys, go get them.
All right, fellas. Have a great weekend. Thank you too for your time this evening, and we'll catch you next week. See you.
All right, go Hounds.
If